Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode here on ESGNet, and this is the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty here on NCAA 14. And today we are in episode 24 talking about week 5, and this is our bye week. So yes, it's our first bye week of the season, as we're just got done playing the first 4 games. And so far, the season has been pretty good. Can't really complain too much. There's some areas in the game, of course, that we need to work on. One of them in the passing is going to be Flanagan, of course. He's our gunslinger, and we got to kind of try to pull him back some here. And we'll talk about that a little later here. But also defensively, we've been giving up quite a few points, but not as many as you think we would. But for the most part here, it's been a pretty good season. As you take a look here, the first 4 weeks, play against Tennessee in week 1, had a close game there, 38-24. Play against Georgia, which is a very surprising Georgia team, 42-17. And then Washington State, 51-16, and then New Mexico State, 63-20. So for the most part here, we've been keeping teams with under 30 points here. And I would say, no more than 24. Yeah, 24 has been the max. It's been a pretty good season here. We've been scoring quite a bit, and it's been helpful for us. Our name is getting out there. We're ranked 4th in the nation right now. And talking to Coach Teddy Bonds about that, he says, all those acclimates and the notoriety there is great. It's great for the school, great for the program, but he says their main job is to get back to where they were just a year ago, and that's playing for a national championship. And Coach Teddy Bonds, he's not all about the glitz and glamour of sports. I mean, don't get me wrong. He enjoys it. He has his fair share of it, but he's a guy type of coach that he just wants to look at be on the field and play. And this week not able to play because of he has a bye week here. That means it gives the team, some of the guys on the team need some resting up, and of course one of them being Hunter Cannon, who is not on our team right now. He is currently still injured. He won't be back until after the next bye week, which will be, I believe, week 11. Week 10 is our bye week, but we won't be back officially until week 11 to play. As we're taking a look here, as you see, there's a big drop there from Oklahoma. Wow, they were ranked number 2 last week and had that loss against Tennessee there, 24-16. Now they have dropped down to number 18. As you take a look at the others, there have dropped out of the top 25. One of them who did drop out was Utah there last week at number 25. Now they are completely off the board there in the top 25 poll. So we're still on the poll. We're still at number 4. We've been at number 4 for the last couple of weeks now. Coach Dave Bond says, as long as they stay within that 4 there, and someone, the other teams there that have a bad game, we can slide up there real quickly and take over one of those other spots there. Of course, Alabama will be the team right now that's it's in I think they're at number 2 now. But to take a look here at the Heisman watch there, you see Kason, the top leader right now, going into the bye week. He, of course, he'll probably slip down some because of not having a game there. You see Bo Scarborough, Sam Darnett, Montez, and Johnson there. All their stock is rising here, and it could go a little bit better for them here, especially with Kason not in action here this week. But take a look at the team numbers right now for the season so far. There you see Flanagan, 1,324 yards, 17 touchdowns there for the season for him. And of course, interceptions. Let's take a look at that. Yeah, go ahead, slide on over there. 9 interceptions there for the season. Coach Teddy Bond said about that was, he knows the young guy is a gunslinger. He wants to throw the football. He wants to, make plays. But also at the same time, Coach Teddy Bond's like, hey, we gotta kind of, rein you back, pull you back at times, because he gets fired up too quickly. And he gets upset, too angry, and he starts making bad passes. So that's one of the things they're trying to work on him with. Don't get upset when the pass doesn't get completed or whatever, and just take your time. One of the other things there too that we're trying to is trying to implement the option here. They're trying to work on that here to help out Kason, who right now has 8 touchdowns for the season so far, 112 attempts there, and a little over 1,000 yards for the season. Okay, never mind, my bad. 696 yards there. So he could easily be a 1,000-yard rusher at some point here towards the end of the season. Look at our receivers. There you see Little there, 23 receptions, 308 yards there for him, 7 touchdowns for him for the season. Tolbert, 4 interceptions, 4 touchdowns there, 316 yards, 21 receptions. Page, 18 receptions, 204 yards, 2 touchdowns. Counter Cannon, there you see our guy right there who's currently injured right now from Grand Island, Nebraska. He has 213 when he left and had 2 touchdowns there. Now, normally he would be up there with Little with the touchdowns, or if not, he would already have 10 already, I guarantee it. But yeah, him being out of there in that lineup there, that's been it's been tough. They've been able to adapt without him, but I know in some cases here, especially with Tolbert, you see 3 drops there, and Grady Little with 5. Hunter Cannon had 3 at this point, or has 3 with the first 2 weeks there of the season already. But just having that kind of the guy that gets the team fired up there on offense, especially with the receivers there, it's been tough. And we've already talked about Hunter Cannon here on the series about him. He's a quiet guy, but on the field during practice or games, he's really boisterous. He's one of those type of players that really wants to help everybody on the team there, and does a great job there as a good leader there for that squad. But having him not on the field there playing at games there, the guys at least talk to some. They say it's been tough. They're used to having him there, and they're down, or they cause a bad play doesn't go their way or whatever. He's usually there to coach them and give just tell them, hey, dude, we got you. We got the next play. Don't let that one play get you down, man. We still got plenty of football. So just a good overall, just a great team. Has great sportsmanship and just likes to help out his teammates. Take a look here defensively. There you see the most tackles right now from Sherman. He has the most tackles for loss and also sacks for the season, as he has this team's most sacks in a game, which is 5 for the Highland Scotties this season. And he did a great job here in that game against, I believe it was either Washington game or the New Mexico State game. I think it was the New Mexico State game, and he had the most sacks. So majority of his sacks came from that game. You see Robbins there with 5, Ellis with 4, Montgomery with 3. Montgomery's actually been doing a great job of stepping up here. There in a couple of games here he's been in so far. Take a look at the rest of the numbers there for interceptions. Blanco with the most with 3, and he's been another player there that's been really right there on the top of the ball, flying around the field and just doing a great job there in the secondary position. So nice job from him. Take a look at some of the other numbers there. You got safeties, and then so far no one has taken anything back yet for a defensive touchdown there this season so far. So numbers, at least talking to Coach Dave Bunn, said he is satisfied. He just wished the defense would be a lot more into it, cause more havoc and more trouble. But he said he's not going to push it. He's happy. Like he said, the team can always improve in a lot of different areas in the game. But right now he just does not want to, jinx the guys or, he told them exactly what he wants in a team meeting there, and what it was basically shut down teams. Don't let them don't stay on the field longer than you have to. Make sure things players are you get that quick 3 and out there on defense, and then try to get the ball back for offense and get them back on the field there. so they can take up the time and do some damage. So there's a lot of things going on with them offensively. Of course, take your time getting down the field. Kason, get him going early and often, and of course Flanagan. Of course, they want to get him set up and get him to be able to throw down the field and make the appropriate throws and catches to the wide receivers. You see Wendell there. You see his numbers from just this compared from this season to last season, and for the most part here, he won the Walker last year, and of course he came up short of winning the Heisman there. He was I believe in third place. There was a couple games that he just couldn't get that 100-yard mark or couldn't get those multiple touchdowns to help him out to really push him to go. Because early there he was on top of the world, but then just start getting those teams, especially those games where we had against Tennessee, Georgia. I can't think of Washington State there. That were those close games that we just could not put them, teams away. I think that really hurt him there. And so, his goal is, he wants to see, talking to him in a little quick press conference this week during their bye week. He said that's what he really wants. He wants to, hold up a trophy this year, and he would like to hold up, not just a team trophy, but a trophy for individual award there. And of course, him and Flanagan last year were neck and neck in a lot of times there, and of course you see Flanagan's numbers there. Decent accuracy, great awareness there. Sometimes like I said, he just gets overconfident and causes trying to throw the ball through a pin, a needle and threading the needle, I should say, as the common phrase is. But yeah, he at least going back to Kason, he said that was his goal this year, and he's hoping he can accomplish that there. So just depending on how well they play, and like I said, so far they've been playing very, very well. Baer, he's actually made some pretty good catches here in the last couple of games here, and Coach Teddy Bonds was praising him during this past week during the press conference, talking about him being a clutch catcher or a clutch receiver, and just doing what he does there on the field to help out Little, and also been, he's really doing a great job here of stepping up as that second receiver they can go to, since Hunter Cannon is their kind of their main primary receiver. And since now, Grady Lillis has taken over, which is doing great, and they said they're going to continue that here, even when Cannon comes back. But Blair's been doing a great job there, just supporting him with supporting Little and the rest of the team. There you see Little's numbers there, good speed, great acceleration, and awareness right there where you want it. Route running has been great. He had that really amazing catch. I believe if it wasn't him, it was either Page, but one of the two had a really good, amazing catch there at halftime in one of the other games there we just seen. And it was just a great catch for him, getting that one down the field and doing some damage there. Scoring there at the last minute and really helping out the team. So that's what Coach Teddy Bonds likes to see. Those guys just going the extra mile there and stepping up. But he said at the same time too, it's basically he told him at the beginning of the season, regardless of what happens on the field, if you guys get hurt or injured, it's the next man up. The next man up needs to step up, and everybody's job is on the line. And if you prove to him, you got a good spot, you got a good chance to to keep her, to take that person's spot on the team. So it's an open audition really for any position on the team, especially in the skills position there. He's all about, next man up, and if you can, show him that you won that spot, want to take that spot and take that, whatever position you're trying to go after, you got to prove it to him. And if you convince him, hey, it's yours. So That is what Coach Teddy Bonds is all about here. No position is secure at all. See on the defensive side there, Damon Adams there, the junior redshirt. Take a look at his numbers there. Adams been actually making some pretty good catches there and some good opportunities for the most part. But yeah, pretty much not bad there, as he and the defense there been some pretty good situations there. Putting pressure on the receivers there and getting interceptions. Deshaun Robbins, the defensive guy who's been really doing a good job here. He's been underneath the wing of Sherman there, and he wants to be, he's seen all the acclimates and stuff like that Sherman got last year. And him and those two have been working with each other all there in the off season, working on block shedding and just how to try to penetrate the offensive line and just try to go get the quarterback there. So really, honestly, he's definitely, I think, the next star player there on the defensive side of the ball there that we could see. He's been putting great body of work there in these first 4 games. Sheldon, of course, last year he won, like I said, I just mentioned some awards. And of course, he just broke that record there, a school record, most sacks in the game, and he is just a monster there on that defensive line there. I mean, he is ripping and tearing through O lines so far here this season. He said he's looking forward to playing against Wisconsin and LSU, especially the Wisconsin game. He wants to see. He thinks that's going to be a true test for him. And not to mention, he's a junior, so he could go for the NFL here. That is something that he is, wants to show the world that, if he can do well against the Wisconsin game, legitimately, he's going to be a good player to go into the next level there if he wants to go that route there. And even talking to him about that, he said, it just depends on how well the season he wants to do well for this for this school, for the program here at Highland, because he believes in it. That's why he came here. Even coming in here as a junior, before it was a junior college, now it's a Division I school now. He really wants to help with this ball club as much as he possibly can and try to get him a national championship. If they come up short this year, he already said that he was going to try to. If it wasn't the offers and the abilities of him going to the NFL wasn't too sweet, that he was going to go. And of course, talking to him more about that, and of course, Coach Teddy Bonds like that. Coach Teddy Bonds, he's a good young man. He's got a good head on his shoulders, but he doesn't want to hold him back. He says if he wants to stay here, he's more willing to stay. But if he has the opportunity to go to the NFL and play, for a good team, any NFL team would have him, it would be a treat for that team and for that squad. So we'll see coming up here how the rest of the season is going to play out here, because him and Hunter Cannon are just guys that are really dedicated to this ball club. They want to see this school do well. They want to put the school on the map, and show what they can do. So there you see Hunter Cannon there. You see his attributes there for the season so far. And like I said, it's been really, really tough for him. He's been nursing that broken tailbone there. It's, when you have a good player like that, who is also, there was a lot of talk and a lot of, chit-chat about teams, or about, not teams, but chit-chat for him to go to the possibly win a Heisman, and now that's kind of gone to the wayside here. All right, so we're gonna kind of take a quick look here at some of the guys that we're looking at when it comes to prospects for next year, and looking at some of the players that we're looking at here. We got a couple guys there that are ahead of our number one on our list there for next season. We'll have more about this coming up in the next episode for the Scotties Sports Talk there. Don't want to get into too much of it here, But there you see some of the players there. Jasper Reed. Well, I mentioned some of these players. That's one of the players that you guys submitted. We've got a couple others here further down the list here. But yeah, we'll talk more about them and those players that you guys submitted here onto the series to see to get your player to be a part of the series here for next season. But here, so far here, it's been a battle. We got some pretty good battles here, especially against teams like LSU here. Those are going to be really important for us because those are teams. Some of these teams we're going to be seeing here down the road here in this next batch of 4 games. So, like I said, these next, these games against Wisconsin and LSU, I would even say the UMass game are going to be very important for us to get to try and change a lot of minds when it comes to the season there, because a lot of these are big time schools here. A lot of these schools are, I think if we can really get some really good big wins and play some solid defense here, I really believe we have a good shot at these young men here to be here next season at Highland. So we'll have to see how things go. We'll talk more about that here coming up. You see some of the ones right here, the kind of the bottom few here are the ones that you guys have submitted here. So far, you see there Marcus Siegel. We're unable to get him as he is now signed to Mississippi State. So he'll be with them next season. He's an outside linebacker there. 75 overall there. He's one of the big names that we had on our list there. We were really pursuing him. Coach Teddy Bonds were talking to him quite often. Unfortunately he did. Yeah, as you see there, we just could not make that final list, and he made a push there. 3-star athlete from, he's number 24th in the outside linebacker core there for this upcoming, for this class that's coming in. As you take a look there, and there you see another one there, A.J. Watson, the kicker. He has committed to Oklahoma now, so we're done with him. And then you see we got 2 guys there, Terrence Long and Clint Manning. Tight end and a defensive tackle there. We have locked out, so we're unable to talk to them anymore. They don't want to fool with us or anything like that, as they've already pretty much made their top 2 or 3 schools now that they're willing to listen to and talk with. And then there you see we got some recruits coming here. Brett Clark and Olsen there, corner and a left end, are going to both come and visit us here in a few weeks. So we're gonna get that set up. Coach Teddy Bonds was talking about that during the press conference there during the bye week, and said that there's a couple of recruits coming in this week, or not this week, but here in a couple weeks. Actually, I think they're coming in. There's a good majority of them coming in, I think, in week 14, which I think that is a home game, because the week 15 we have the 3rd and final bye week this season. As you take a look at the scores there in week 5, we got quite a few coming up here after that, LSU and Wisconsin games coming up. That both of those are on the road, and did not mention already, but I think I mentioned this already in another video, that game day, ESPN game day, is going to be in Wisconsin. They're in Madison for that big game there between Highland and the Badgers. So that is going to be a fun day there. As far as I know, I think they're going to be interviewing Coach Teddy Bonds, and they're going to talk to him about the game and whatnot. And I think we've gotten permission, as far as at least I know, and last time I heard, we're trying to get permission to get some of that interview from Coach Teddy Bonds and about the game there, about what the Wisconsin matchup there. So I believe Wisconsin is still ranked, and I believe they won here. I think there it is right there. They lost to Ohio State there. Number 12 Ohio State wins 38-35 against Wisconsin. So Wisconsin's going to slide down some in the polls. We'll see where they'll slide off to here in just a bit, but Yeah, tough loss there, and they lose that one in overtime. Nebraska wins 42-17 there against Rutgers. Take a look at some of the rest of your scores there. Oklahoma State, they win there 16-13. Ooh, Tulsa almost got a hold of them there. Oklahoma, man, they've been sliding quite a bit. They were at number 2 last week to 15 or to 18, and now they've jumped up now to 15 here going to week 6. So a lot of confusion there as you take a look at your top 25 poll now after week 5. Alabama's still your number 1 school, or now in the new number 1 school, as USC is now dropped down to number 8. They lost against Washington there, number 2 Washington, 56-37 there. Highland's at number 4. Auburn's number 3. They won in overtime there against Tennessee, and they'll be playing Texas A&M this weekend. We play UMass there in Foxborough. We're playing at Gillette Stadium there. What else? Got any other huge upsets here? Not much. Wisconsin, yeah, so the Wisconsin game, yeah, that dropped them down from 16 to 19. So they dropped down 3 spots. And then Florida drops from 11 to 25 now. And they had a big loss there. There you see the ones that dropped out. Oklahoma State, Colorado, and Kentucky dropped out of the top 25 this week. So rough week here in college football. A lot of teams they were in the top 20 there, or even the top 10 were kind of falling down there, kind of falling from grace there, I guess you could put it. Take a look at your Heisman watch after week 5. There you see Johnson still in the bottom there. Darnell and also Scarborough both dropped, and so did Kason. But Gaskins, after that big win there, he jumps up now to number 1 for the Heisman. So he is a top contender for the Heisman right now. Take a look at the players of the week there. You got Jordan Mack from Virginia last week. 6 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, a sack, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. Tanner Magnum is also your player of the week in the Independents, but also as the NCAA. He was 15 of 22, 278 yards, 18 carries for 170 yards, and 5 total touchdowns there. The BYU senior is your player of the game for the Independents. There you see Jerry Tallery, 3 tackles for loss, or 3 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and 3 attacks and 2 sacks for him in that game. So let's take a quick look here at UMass. As you take a look at UMass, well, not much really to talk about except for their pass defense. They got a better pass defense than us, so they're going to put some pressure on, of course, on Flanagan. There you see UMass 2-3 for the season, as we're 4-0, and Curb Herbstreit has us as the pick of the week. Take a look at UMass. There you see one against Boston College, 28-25 in a close game there. Lost to looks like Colorado, and then one against FBS East, and then lost 2 straight there. A close one there against Penn State, number 17. At Happy Valley, and then also at Vandy, 24-21. So they've been losing 2. They've lost 2 close games here so far, and so against a ranked opponent like us, yeah, this is definitely they're gonna be chomping at the bit here, because if they could beat us, that's gonna pull us down some in the standings. But not to mention, it's gonna propel them and probably help them get their confidence back here. So they're going to be really looking forward to get a good game. There you see 23 of 41 last week, and 223 yards, 6 carries for 1 touchdown there against Vandy in that very close game. Take a look at Young, the leading rusher right now, who has currently 408 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns. Last week, 17 carries, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns, 3 receptions of 24 yards. Reynolds, your top receiver, who had 3 catches for 50 yards, no touchdowns last week. But take a look at Marcus Young there, his numbers there for the season. a good runner, good acceleration there. So he's probably a guy that we're going to have to, of course, keep a close watch on. Because if we don't, again, of course, don't stop the running game, that is just going to run us ragged here. And we had something like that happen to us, here already this season. And of course, we don't want that to be the case in this one against UMass. So, can we beat UMass? Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. It won't be so much of a walk in the park, because they are a team that, by the sounds of it, they got a good team. It's just that their defense just can't slam the door shut. If they have the lead. Now, I didn't get a chance to look at their box score here to really see if it was because of possession. By the looks of it, if you look at this just score, it looked like it came down to whoever had last possession. So we got to make sure we are the team that has that last possession of the game. As you take a look at Isabel, his numbers there, and of course he had if I remember looking right at the score sheet there, I think he had a pretty decent week, but he is our leading wide receiver there. So if we can keep him quiet, as Vandy did last week, we have a pretty good shot there. As you see their acceleration, speed there, top notch there, as you see the rest of his attribute numbers there. But yeah, UMass looks like a team that they're gonna be right with us at every single pace, every single stride there. There you see Ford's numbers there. So it's going to be a team that we're really going to have to get really prepared for. Coach Teddy Bonds was talking about it. He says that was something that we've been working on all week long. Pass defense is going to be tough. Not much film on them, at least when I was talking to Coach Teddy Bonds. But he knows what he does know of. It's going to be coming down to possession. Can we manage the clock very well? Can we manage the time? Not time, but just manage the game, keeping the clock or the ball in our possession, and getting those to where we need them. Making sure we have the ball thrown to the right spot and right position where it needs to be, and that's something that we're going to try to see if we can do in this game. We're going to need help on defense, as we need to make sure that defense steps up, gets those quick 3 and outs. If we push them back, keep them back. That's happened to us several times here where we've got a good sack on them, and then a play or two later, we end up giving up a big pass, and then not letting them, take and, getting them that momentum to them, where they eventually got down there to score. So, just gotta try to keep our defense off the field as much as possible, and keep theirs on when we're on offense. So. That is just something, just some good old-fashioned football there. Just try to keep that in mind, and make sure we don't let these their secondaries and all of them get on top of Flanagan in the offense there. So, and then of course we like to see some players step up. With Tolbert, we'd like to see him get it open here, get some catches to him. Of course, get Little going there, get him down the field. Try to get him go run deep. He has good speed, and we haven't been able to really throw down the field. So we're hoping that we can do that coming up in this game, and then really hoping up the game and the running game there too. If the running game can be there and help out Kason, that can help out, of course, Flanagan. They say they want to try to run the option this week. So that's one of the things that we're going to try to see if we can do here with Flanagan. Get that option and get him some rushing yards here. That's why we're trying to not too much rely on his arm too much here, and try to save his arm. Because I know one of the things Coach Teddy Bonds is talking about is throwing 30 to 40 times in the game. He does not want that to be the case. So that is something that they're gonna have to try to do here in this game here against UMass. So we played UMass last year. We had a successful game against them. I don't know exactly what the score was, but I know we pretty much dominated. Let me look at my notes here from last season and see exactly what the score was there. But for the most part here, I believe I want to say it was a blowout last year. Yeah, we played them week 1, 45-7. So they are really willing with the way they've been playing here, and you know, unfortunately coming up on the short end of the stick here and losing those games. I think this is going to be the game that they'll be really looking forward to, and you know, we just gotta have to take our time and get down the field as we can, and not push things too much until, you know, we can get, you know, if we can open up some and get down the field on a regular basis and we get some scores in, then we can just, you know, put the pedal to the metal and you know, really just do what we want to do there and just really manipulate their defense and have them play the defense they don't want to play. So but that is it for this episode. I know it's a long one, trying to pack in you know, that week's the bye week stuff, and then of course trying to set up like we normally would in the Scotty Sports Talk about the upcoming week, which is a game against UMass. But coming up in the Scotty Sports Talk, it'll be all recruiting. We'll talk about recruiting. We'll talk about the recruitments that we've got so far, which right now I don't think we've had any signed. But also to talk about some of the recruits that you guys submitted in for next season, and show you guys about those players and talk about some of those players there coming up in that episode. So that'll be coming up here. You guys stay tuned for it here on the channel. But that's it for this episode of the Highland Scotties Team Builder Dynasty. Get ready for week 6 as we take on the UMass Minutemen coming up here on the channel. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please leave a like. Also, don't forget to hit that bell notification so you guys can be notified when this series or any other series on the channel is uploaded to the channel. Also, follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to be a part of the ESGN Nation. And check us out on social media. That we have links down below. And get the latest news and events on what's going on here on the channel, what's going on in sports, and what is going on in sports gaming in general. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.